guys, I am BlackOpsAmazing or Eli and welcome back to another zombies video on the channel, back with a Q&A answering your questions from the comment section below about the zombie storyline and Easter eggs, and also sometimes to do with the campaign. If you're going to enjoy today's video, as always, a like rating would be very much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies content on the channel, and also click the bell notification icon next to it as well to be part of the notification squad. But with that out of the way, when you're ready, let's get into it. So the first question of today from Elliot Krebs says, so if Moon and Transit take place at the same time, how does Moon take place in 1969 and Transit takes place in 2025? I wanted to answer this because it's a quick one to answer and it was kind of wrongly phrased. It's actually not Transit and Moon that takes place at the same time, it's Nuketown and Moon. Moon takes place on October the 13th of 2025, and Nuketown takes place on the exact same date, whereas Transit takes place 10 years later in the year 2035. There's a 10-year difference between Nuketown zombies and Transit, so when we play Nuketown zombies and Malton is in there in the bunker, it's then a whole 10 years later until the Transit crew meet up. We know in between that 10 years, quite a lot happens, where Stuhlinger joins the Flesh. Not long after, Broken Arrow separates, Rustman loses his job and ends up wandering the earth, where he eventually finds the bus. It's a really long gap from Nuketown to Transit, and I actually got really confused with this. I thought Transit was pretty much straight after Nuketown, as in maybe a week or two, but it's 10 whole years. And the characters don't use teleporters to teleport forward in time. It is literally 10 years until they all meet up. From the events that happened on Moon and the Earth was destroyed until they meet up. Nope Stripe says, BOA, if Reznov died, then how did he get the prints for the ray gun Mark III? So again, another simple answer I can give you is the campaign and multiplayer simply don't take place in the same universe. Reznov died in the Black Ops campaign in the mission Vorkuta. I did a video on that the other day where I answered a question similar, and the mission Vorkuta takes place in 1963. Actually, Gorod Karovi, which is the map that we have the ray gun Mark III in, takes place in 1945. It's before. So if they were in the same universe, Reznov would have been able to give the Russians the blueprints for the Mark III, but obviously we know they're not in the same universe. The campaign doesn't have zombies, so they are totally different universes. Reznov exists in the campaign universe and he also exists in the zombies universe. It's just that each one has a different scenario and different timelines, which means that different events take place. In the zombies universe, obviously, Reznov didn't end up in Vorkuta. And in the campaign universe, Reznov had nothing to do with zombies. The next question from Reese says, why is the Thunder Gun in the Black Ops campaign? Well, it's not only the Thunder Gun, but I also believe you can get the Ray Gun in the World at War campaign as well. Now, obviously this has nothing significant. There's no hidden meaning behind it. There's no connection to zombies, obviously, apart from the fact that it's a zombies weapon. But in terms of story, there's no meaning. It's just an Easter egg that Treyarch have added into their past couple of games, which allows you to obtain a zombies weapon for the campaign. It's just something fun that you can do. You can get the Thunder Gun in Black Ops, and you can also get the Ray Gun, I believe, in World at War. I've never actually seen gameplay of the Ray Gun in World at War. If I can find some, I will show you guys on screen. But I have seen the Thunder Gun. That is an actual thing, and you can go and get it in, I believe it's just one of the missions. You can't actually use it throughout the whole campaign, but yeah, it's just a cool little fun Easter egg that you can get. Drew says, what timeline do you think Black Ops 4 will take place in? Past, present, or future? Also love your videos, keep it up. So thank you for the support, but do I think BO4 zombies will be in the past, present, or future? Well, that's a difficult question to answer, but as we've seen by the ending of Revelations, our characters get sent back to the Age of Primus, and Primus were around during the 13th and 12th century. And so with that, you would have to say the past, but of course we don't really know. All throughout zombies, we go to different times. We go to the future, we've been to 2025, 2035. We've also been back to the past with Origins. We travel to different times, so it wouldn't be surprising if we do that in Black Ops 4. If on one map, we end up in the 1200s, and then in another map, we end up in the year 2000. In another map, we go to the 1940s, another one 1960s. I mean, we don't know. I don't expect the whole game to stay in one time, but starting off and from what we've seen already, I would probably say the past. Like I said, since it looks like possibly we are starting off as premise, we are playing as those characters, my answer to that would be the past. Billy Joe says, do you consider mobile zombies canon? So I believe I'm right in saying this, but I haven't played mobile zombies in quite a long time, so I can't remember exactly, but the maps that we get for mobile zombies are exactly the same that we play on console. I definitely know that we have Derice, or actually there's two different games. You can get the World at War and Black Ops. I believe all the maps are the same. There's no Easter eggs in the mobile versions, you just simply play the game. So I mean, the answer would have to be yes. If it's exactly the same maps that we are playing, then it's the same thing. The only thing we can't do on mobile is Easter eggs. Whereas if you were to ask me a question about the DS version, I would say no. We knew that the maps on the DS for COD Zombies are totally random. There's ones like Temple, Prison, Facility, and another one I can't quite remember. But those maps, those are not canon. We play as totally different characters, so the answer to mobile would be yes, although there are no Easter eggs to complete, but they're still the same maps, but the DS ones aren't. The next question from Bountify-V2 says, BOA, if Richtofen controlled the zombies, why didn't he make the zombies not attack the transit crew? So we knew that Richtofen was in control of the zombies during the end of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Whilst we were playing as the transit crew through Transit, Die Rise and Buried, Richtofen was in control of the zombies. Yet we also know that Richtofen was the one telling the transit crew that he needs them to do objectives for him, specifically linking the pylons. So what you're saying is, if Richtofen needed the transit crew to do things for him, why would he then go and send the zombies after them? Obviously the zombies are trying to kill them, so basically why is Richtofen trying to kill the same set of characters that he wants to do things for him? Well, if Richtofen didn't send the zombies after the transit characters, then simply they'd have no reason to do whatever Richtofen was asking them. Without the zombies chasing them, they wouldn't feel a need to push on, keep moving and complete his objectives. Without the zombies chasing them, they'd feel safe and so wouldn't have to worry. Why would they do what Richtofen was telling them to do if there was no problem? They wouldn't. And so in order for the transit crew to do what Richtofen was telling them, he needed to make them think that they were always in danger. If he told the zombies not to attack them, then the transit crew would just stay wherever they were, thinking they were safe and wouldn't do Richtofen's objectives. And we know that Richtofen knew if the transit crew were to die, if the zombies did kill them, which is exactly what happened in Die Rise, Richtofen could easily just send them back to the beginning, back to when they were alive. He could respawn them so they could do his objectives over and over again. And in fact, all throughout Transit, Die Rise and Buried, those set of characters probably died tens, maybe hundreds of times. And each time one of them died, Richtofen, because he was in power, had the ability to send them back, to bring them back to life, so they could complete his objective. So to answer your question, Richtofen had to send the zombies after them. They had to chase the crew so they could keep moving and complete his objectives. Without that, they would just stay where they were. Setup 183 says, where did the dragons come from in Der Eisendrache? And also, how did Samantha become the ruler of the zombies, and how does she control the Panzer on Origins? So as for your first question, where did the dragons come from in Der Eisendrache? Honestly, I don't know. It's again another mysterious question that I don't have an answer for, and I don't think we've been given an answer for this, so where do the dragons come from in Der Eisendrache? Who created them? I seem for some reason to think in the back of my head we've heard an answer to this before, but I can't find it. We know that obviously Der Eisendrache is a Group 935 facility, and since these dragons are on the wall, it would make sense that Group 935 created them. Somehow they created these dragons, but for what reason? To guard the castle? I don't know. We know in game we have to feed all of them to unlock the bow, but if Group 935 did create them, why? Who made them? Was it Dr. Monty maybe? I don't know. Obviously they're a reference to the Cerberus heads from Mob of the Dead, but the big difference is Mob of the Dead takes place in Purgatory. It's not a reality, whereas Der Eisendrache is. It's real. We do know that Der Eisendrache, Garrod Kurovi and Zetsubo no Shima all have a link. We do know that Division 9 were creating dragons for Group 935. Was this a prototype? It's weird because it's rock. It's a stone that turns into a dragon. It's obviously not real. It's something magical. And whatever's magical in our game, like the mystery box, usually has something to do with Dr. Monty. So where did the dragons come from in Der Eisendrache? I wish I could give you an answer. Hopefully one of you guys can in the comment section below, but honestly I don't really know. As for your second question, how did Samantha become the ruler of the zombies and how does she control the Panzer? Well, she became in control of the zombies in de Reefs. I've done a full story of video on that, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I will link that video instead down in the description. But simple terms, basically, Samantha and Maxis were trapped in the teleporter. They were locked in there by Richtofen. Richtofen then teleported them away. Samantha was teleported to the moon. Maxis was teleported to the crazy place. And whilst on the moon, Samantha ran inside of the MPD pyramid and locked herself in. Richtofen knew that this was a massive danger. He knew what Samantha could do if she became trapped in there for too long. And so the only way to get her out was if her father told her to leave. And in order to do that, Groff fetched Maxis from the crazy place and told him to tell Samantha to leave. That's what he did. But when Samantha and Maxis came face to face with one another, instead of telling her to come out, Maxis told Samantha to kill everyone related to Group 935, and so that's what she did. She went back inside of the MPD, took control of the zombies, and that's how she became, I guess you could say, the ruler. Anyway guys, that is all I have for you for today's video. Hopefully, as always, you have enjoyed. If you have, a like rating would be very much appreciated. Could we go for 1,115 likes on this video? Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, click the notification button, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.